Hi, I just wanted to do another video. This is my new zipped compact Franklin Quest binder. I just bought this off eBay the other day, and wanted to show it off. Just sort of do a quick I can't even get it all in a frame on my camera right now. It's big. If we wanted to compare it to a personal Filofax, here's my Winchester. That shows how much bigger. What I thought was kind of really crazy about this is my Success Choice binder, which, if I put them together, the Success Choice is, which is an 8.5 by 5.5, so about the size of, it's the same size as a Franklin Covey Classic, but it's an open binder. And you'll see it's just sort of fractionally taller and fractionally wider. And when you look at them head on, this is actually skinnier, but this one has bigger rings, so that makes sense. I mean, this is also, it's just a piece of full grain leather. It's not got anything to give it structure. This definitely, it not only has some kind of hardboard inside the cover, but it also kind of feels slightly padded, which is kind of cheesy, but it kind of gives it a nice feel. I must say, I don't know how old this thing is. It's really nicely made. All the stitching on it is very even and neatly executed. Everything is straight. It's got it has a zip pocket on the back here that is gusseted on one side so you can get in it more easily. If I look in, I've got some Sudafeds and some screws. I need to find the same size but shorter. And kind of handy to have something that you can tuck stuff into on the outside. If we open, looking at the top here, I didn't bring it downstairs, but there was like a shackled strap on here, so you could sort of like carry it around by this strap, but that seemed really odd to me, and so I just took it off. But hey, these dogs. Anyway, just open her up. I've never bought a zip binder before. I never really wanted one, but I thought I would give it a try. I mean, I think something that sort of swayed me a little bit was that it seems like a large majority of Franklin Quest, Franklin Covey planner binders are the zip kind, and most daytimers are the zip kind, and it gives me this impression that if this works well for so many people, there might be a reason why, and maybe I should be more open-minded and give it a try and see how it works. My objection to it is that it just, I mean, that's much more of an operation than if you have something like this that's just, and you're in. This is my other Franklin Quest binder, the one with the snazzy wallet pocket across the back. It's actually, when this thing was full, even though the rings are a 1/4 inch smaller in this open one, the whole width of the planner is about the same when it's full, because of the double thickness on the outer cover. So because of that wallet pocket, that really bulks it up. But as you can see, looking at them side by side, this one is like a whole inch shorter, and it's like 1/2 inch narrower. So this is a much, much bigger planner, and I'm not really sure at this point. I'm thinking I might switch back into this, but I'm not sure. I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to be open-minded about it. I can definitely see, especially if I'm going to be carrying this without a bag, that having a closed one is kind of nice. So, but anyway, if we open her up, there are 2 pen loops. They're both fairly small. What I did, because this is, I never clip pens by their shirt clip in my planners before, but because this is a zip one, so they're not going to fall out, I felt more comfortable just doing that. And so this pen loop is this pen fits in it, but it's really snug and hard to get it out, especially because it like bumps into the top of the zipper when you're trying to get it out. So I just slip, and that's in there. It's nice and sturdy in there, and once it's closed up, it's not going anywhere. And then this, my mechanical pencil just slides in and out. There goes the dogs again. They've been like in the house all day, so they're a little restless. I have a secretarial pocket here that just got some receipts and stuff I need to sort out. Some envelopes in here. There's some note cards and with matching envelopes, nice ones that are wrapped in a piece of cheap paper just to keep them from getting marked up in here. This one actually did come with page lifters, so I didn't have to get the Zeitgeist of Zoe to send me any this time. In the back, I've got a card slot. I've got stamps back here, and I think I've got a stash of deposit tickets in there, so I can, when I go to the bank, that's very handy to have. Anyway, so this is definitely a Franklin Quest. It's made in the USA. They call this the Verona leather. I mean, it definitely feels, it's got a nice feel to it. It seems like something that's going to wear well. Flipping inside, I guess I'll switch at this moment. As I promised, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how the system works, and not so much about just like I have this here and this there. I have a one-page marker in this. I want to add another one, which I'll show you in a second, but this just goes to today's two-page spread. And, you know, some people have a dashboard, like a transparent flyleaf at the front that they stick Post-its to, and that's where they flip to first when they open the planner. For me, I just grab the today marker and just get to today. And this is really, everything gets run out of here. And I spend some time, usually the evening before, kind of going through, looking a couple of days back and a couple of days forward, making sure that everything that I need to be doing on the following day is sort of laid out. I will loosely sort of schedule what I'm going to do through the day. I'll fill up my task list and start to prioritize it. All of that will happen the night before. And so, like, I haven't even done for tomorrow, but tomorrow's a work day. It's Sunday, but it's my work day. So I've got my work sort of plan from last week. I've got to sort of figure out where things are at with this and write up a new one. I've got a couple of things that I want my student staff to work on. And then I got a couple of Post-its last week that just went in here that I've got to sort of synthesize into this system. So this is where you start. I can see what I need to do. This was a day off, so there's not very much on here. And over here, I sort of plot out what happened that day. So anything that I think I'm going to want to remember later, I just jot in here. I number them. If we get to, let's flip back a little bit. So if I have on here like a meeting, I will take meeting notes on blank paper, which currently resides after the YZ and before the January tab. So if I flip here, I have like a running sheet just for stray notes, and then I can start a fresh sheet for any sort of project that I want to work on. If I'm sitting down to a meeting, I write down what the meeting is, the date, and I start just filling this up. And then at the end of the meeting, when I get back to my desk, I usually look at this, figure out what's actionable on it, and then file it in the A to Z index back here. If I'm working through the day and something comes up that I have to make a quick decision, is this something that I need to do today? Is it something I need to do in the next few days? Does it have a deadline? And if it does, it goes into the diary. If it's not something with a deadline, I try to write it back here. And what I do, I don't worry about it, but when I get to the weekly review, which I think this week I'm actually going to do tomorrow. I usually do it on Saturday, but I'm going to do it on Sunday this week. I usually do it the last day of my work week, and this week, somebody wanted Super Bowl Sunday off, so I'm working Super Bowl Sunday and they're working my normal Saturday, so I'll just do this tomorrow. I usually do, most of this is work stuff, so I usually just figure I should do it on work time. But I'll take everything on this, I'll figure out, if it doesn't have a due date, I will assign one, or at least a time that I'm planning to do it. So at which point, this sheet, so things will, if it's project type information or really kind of future planning, it gets filed in the A to Z index for future reference. And if it's something that's actionable, I try to plot it out, and that it might go into a day page, or it might just go onto a monthly to action, like the master task list, to something that I should do, that I'm gonna just loosely plan to just get it done in March. I don't know if that makes sense, but that, I think, becomes significantly my system. The other thing, which I mentioned in my last video, was just the yellow paper is for really, this becomes stuff that's really sort of primarily focused on my employees. What I'm planning, like sort of my plans for my team. What do I need to try to sort of make happen? So right now I have a bunch of values that I've sort of been thinking about articulating. Changes, stuff that's coming up, ways to communicate with people. It really does, it becomes kind of a brainstorm, and then I synthesize it into something like this. So just sort of, this is kind of some prioritized tasks that I want the student staff to do this week, and I check them off as they get done. And then I just have up here like my work plan for the week. So I'll make a new one of these tomorrow, I'll make a new one for next week. I've had these overflow to the backside, but usually not. I think actually if I need this to go into the backside, I'd probably hole punch the other margin so I can flip the page, because I open to here and I want it to be facing me. So that's sort of the other end of my planning. Aside from my work responsibilities, I also own a couple of rental properties that I manage myself. So that becomes primarily a financial situation. I definitely, all the stuff for them, just because apartment is the word that comes to mind, so all of my lists associated with these are filed under A. I have an apartment that both of my apartments are turning over this month, so I just have a running list of basically like a punch list of stuff I need to do in one of them, a punch list of stuff I need to do in the other one. If I flip to the H tab, I have a shopping list for the next time I'm at the hardware store, and as I get the stuff, I check it off, and then stuff gets added to it. And then under the F, I have a running list of all the transactions that are on my credit card. I have last year's house expense logs for the two properties, so this one is one property, this is the other. And then professional, other tax deductible stuff that's not related to the properties. I have an expense sheet for one and an expense sheet for the other. The other thing I'm running out of this, my business account, I'm using one of these check register pages just to keep the account balance on that. And then also for my personal account, I have a check register in here. So sort of transitioning from using the check register booklet to using something like this. On the hardware list, pretty much everything on here is going to go, it's related to one of the properties, so it's going to go onto those, it's going to be tax deductible stuff. I think that there is something on this list that I realized was for my own home, so I just have to keep track of that. But and this sort of shows you how this all works. I have another, just to backtrack a little bit, if something comes to mind that I need to discuss with my boss, whose name begins with a J, and this is really an idea I pulled from Getting Things Done, was to have an agenda of stuff. So as things occur to me that are not terribly urgent that I want to make sure I go over with her at the next face-to-face meeting that we have, I just jot them down. And then when I sit down in the meeting with her, I just go through them all, and we can I usually take notes, and I can sort of indicate what the disposition on each thing is. Sometimes I just cross them off if, they're either done or we've decided not to do anything with them. Things that are really open that I'm waiting on, I'll circle. And then if I finish something, I usually will check it off. I did start, you'll see, just putting the date that the idea occurred to me over here, because I find sometimes there's information in the diary that I want to be able to reference when I'm talking about this. So I found that really helpful. And I do the same with other people. Like if there's something that comes up that is sort of a task that I need to talk to somebody, or it's really related to a specific project, it just gets filed back here. So I do a lot of flipping back and forth as I'm working with the system. We go to January. I just filled out just this evening. I went through as Patty at Homemakers Daily demonstrated in her posts on how she uses her Franklin planner, just going through the month, sort of noting all the important things that happened, what date they happened on, so in the future when I need to figure out what days, if I have to refer back, it's easy to do it. So as you can see, and I've got a lot of notes every day. I don't have that much stuff on here. These are really kind of things that I really think are dates that I might need to be able to get my fingers on again. And so we'll see. And anyway, one of the things that I liked about this binder was that it has 1.5-inch rings, which you can see they're like humongous. That's allowed me to get a lot more days in here, which is nice. It's not essential. I can live with less, but I think it's really nice to not have to worry about that I have the pages in. And it's also nice as I move forward to have at least one full month looking back, because I find usually for them, throughout February, I'll probably be looking back at January to sort of see what day I did something, to sort of verify that I did do something, etc. So I find it, right now I have January, February, March, and April day pages in, and starting in May I just have the months. And the months are pretty sufficient. I'm pretty good at sort of minimizing the size of my handwriting to sort of get the essential information on here. It is a little, it's tight, and I can see why people don't like it, but I think just for future planning, I also use this, if somebody wants to schedule a meeting with me, I open to the month, because you can't see it. When you're looking at days, it's you're flipped day to day to day. So I just look here. And one of the things that I do in the weekly review is make sure that the upcoming week and the following week are actually, everything that's on here are also on the days, and everything on the days is also on here. And another thing that I found helpful, I wrote up a list. If I can find it. Yes, here it is. Weekly tasks, monthly tasks, and things I need to do on pay weeks, which is every other week. So when I'm doing a weekly review and plotting out what I need to do for the next week, I make sure that all of these things go on my to-do list for the next week. I assign 1 or 2 of them to each day of the week, based on how long they take and what else is going on those days. Some of these things take 10 minutes, some of them take half an hour or 45 minutes. But I want to make sure that I get all these things done every week. Monthly tasks, I want to make sure that those get done every month. And then on the pay weeks, I just have to make sure this just sort of jogs my memory that I have to do these things. So that is another sort of aspect of how I use the system. I think that's it. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep using this zip binder or not. I mean, it's wonderful, and it's sort of mid-1990s business executive sort of look. I mean, it is so 1997, and I think that's pretty cool. But it's big. It is heavy. I don't find that annoying or any. I mean, I carry around books at work all day anyway. This is about the same amount of handful when it's full. and the leather feels nicer, and the pockets kind of work better. So I don't know, I'm a little bit, and it definitely is easier to get into, but I definitely see advantages to having a closed binder. I do carry, there are many times, especially at work, that I need to go dash to another building or something, that I've got this in my hand, and if I step outside and it's raining out, I start to freak out about it. So having something closed seems pretty sensible, but I'm just not sure if this might be too big, but we'll see. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm kind of enjoying the novelty of it. So anyway, I've tried to make this video a little shorter, so I'll end it now. But definitely let me know if you have questions, if you want me to clarify the system at all. I did notice Ray Blake wrote a post on how to use a Filofax that I noticed some things that in his style that were sort of a little bit different from mine. That like tasks that don't have a due date just stay in a tasks list somewhere. I have a task list, as I mentioned, for things that are not particularly time sensitive, but in order to actually make sure that they get done, they get assigned, I have to assign them a due date. And it's just sort of a quirk of my time management system that if I don't assign a date to do them, and then really make it my business to get them done on that day, I just don't get them done. And so having one thing, I think when I tried to use getting things done, I couldn't get anything done because it was all just sitting in one combined list without sort of assigning it to a day, without assigning it to a time. And I just kind of couldn't, I would look at it and I couldn't make heads or tails of where to start with it. So definitely for me, doing the weekly review, assigning all the to-dos that I need to do, even if they don't have a due date, to a date, and then really trying hard to actually make sure that I actually check everything on my to-do list off every day. If something new and time-consuming gets added, I try to go through and figure out, can I delegate it, can I delete it, or can I forward it? But I don't like to forward things too much because I find that once I establish a pattern of procrastination, it's very difficult for me to kind of get that reined back in again. So anyway, I will stop now. Have a great night, and definitely let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.